Get ready to dive into the world of Paradise Lost, where their frontman, Nick Holmes, shares some insightful thoughts on the band's creative process and their latest album, Ascension. The power of self-criticism. In a recent interview, Nick Holmes opens up about the band's journey and their unique approach to songwriting. He emphasizes that Paradise Lost is their own harshest critics, a sentiment that might resonate with many artists. "We are our own worst and heaviest critics," Holmes reveals. "The band's biggest critics are ourselves." A journey through time and influence. When asked about their songwriting process for Ascension, Holmes explains how re-recording their iconic album Icon for its 30th anniversary influenced their new music. "Singing those old songs brought us back to our youth and the way we used to write," he says. "It inspired us to change our approach, not to copy but to capture a similar vibe." But here's where it gets controversial. Holmes hints that one song on the album could be mistaken for a track from their Shades of God era. "It went a bit under the radar," he adds, "but we've always loved that album." Trends versus authenticity. Nick Holmes boldly states that Paradise Lost doesn't care about trends in heavy metal. "Jumping on trends is like the kiss of death," he says. "We write music without caring about what others are doing. And this is the part most people miss." Holmes reveals that in their early days, interviews often compared them to other bands. But with Ascension, he hasn't heard a single mention of another band, which he takes as a sign that they've carved out their own unique ecosystem. The impact of re-recording. Gregor Mackintosh, the band's guitarist, shares his perspective on how re-recording Icon influenced their latest album. "It put me back in the headspace of the Shades of God and Icon era," he says. Over half the album is in that vein, with a modern twist. Inspiration and self-reflection. When asked about being inspired by their own music, Mackintosh clarifies that it's more about revisiting their influences and headspace from that time. "It gives you a warm feeling to revisit your old style," he explains. "You try not to repeat yourself, but if it feels good, it must be a good thing." The freedom of creative control. Mackintosh adds that they're in a fortunate position where they don't have a label rushing them to release music. "If you're not feeling it, you scrap it," he says. "We do it in our own time, and that's a luxury." The album cover, a visual representation. The album cover for Ascension features the painting The Court of Death by George Frederick Watts, a renowned British artist. The painting's bleak vision embodies the dark soundscapes of the album, with verses of torment and riffs of foreboding. Paradise Lost has been performing across Europe this summer, including a show with King Diamond, and will continue their Ascension of Europe tour this fall. So, what do you think? Are you ready to embark on this musical journey with Paradise Lost? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.